Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, April 21st, the 12th day of the Omer. I mean, you can go a lot of directions with that 12th day. For old schoolers, it could be Bob Greasy, Roger Staubach, but have it as you'd like. Let's continue to daven, please, for Shalema, for Ivan Sobel, for Mordechai ben Elka, and for Rav Zev ben Rickel, and for all those that need a refuah and a Yeshua during this very difficult time. Of course, today is Yom Hashoah, Ugvura, as it used to be called originally. Now we just call it Yom Hashoah. But we have our communal observance will take place together with Israel Bonds internationally. I think there's still time. If you look at the email below, you'll see the ability to sign up for 1 o'clock today. We have many members of our synagogue participating. We'll hear from Rabbi Yisrael Meir Lau and survivor testimony, and it should really, really be something. Trying to do the best that we can during this difficult time. Of course, right after Pesach, we always have what we call the Yoms. Yom HaShoah, Yom HaZikaron, Yom HaAtzmaut, and it's usually a very meaningful time for us here in Shul. However, this year, it only adds sort of to the injury that we can't be together and we can't have shul observances. So we're trying to do the very, very best that we can. So please sign up. Also, there is a live March of the Living tonight. There are a number of programs that one can see online, survivor testimony through our schools. Both Kushner and Golda Ak are doing a wonderful job with the children. And I have to point out that in general, they're doing an excellent job with the remote learning. I've seen in both schools. So kol hakavod to all those educators and administrators. I'd like to study the next Mishnah for today, and this is from the first chapter. We're studying the first chapter of Pirkei Avos, and it's Mishnah 6. Now, one thing you have to realize is that depending on what version of Pirkei Avos volume you're reading, sometimes they will number the Mishnahs differently, depending on how they're broken up or the interpretations or whatever. But this, according to the version I'm using, is Parak 1, Mishnah 6. So it's possible that when I quote one and you're looking it up, it might be one off or so, depending on how it is numbered. But this is Yeshua ben Prachia v'nitai harbelu kiblu mehen. So we always had this series of pairs, and they received the word from their forebears. They received the word from their predecessors. So it starts with Yeshua ben Prachia and Nitai ha'arbeli. So Yeshua ben Prachia. Aseh lecha rav uknei lecha chaver v'hevedan es kol ha'adam l'kafschus. You have to make for yourself a rav. You have to provide a teacher for yourself. You have to acquire for yourself a chaver, a friend, a companion, and you have to judge everyone favorably. Also, perhaps something that we've heard before, but no less meaningful, because we've heard it several times in the past. So first, Aseh lecha rav. It's very important, especially when living a Jewish life, is that we're filled with a lot of questions. And when we have a lot of questions, we need to know where to go with those questions. So especially when Pesach came, thank God we had a lot of questions that came through, particularly given the circumstances that we found ourselves in this year. So if a person has a Rav, person has an authority to go to, one of the key elements of that, though, is that you have to stick with your authority. It's that if you accept somebody as your Rav, then that's your Rav, and you can't say, well, I don't like the answer he gave, let me go to somebody else and see what they say. Let me go shopping around. It's not like that. So Aseh lecha rav. But another interpretation that Chazal in the homiletic expression of this is Aseh lecha rav, is that maybe you have to make yourself Aseh lecha, make yourself a Rav. Now it doesn't mean an authority, but it means a teacher. Rabbi ultimately means teacher. Make yourself a teacher. Present yourself in a way that will set an example. Elevate yourself so that you'll set an example for others. And the next step of the Mishnah is Kinei lecha chaver. Now it doesn't say just have friends, get friends. It says Kinei. It means to acquire. You may have many acquaintances over your lifetime. You may have many people you consider your friends, but there's usually only one or two, maybe three if you're lucky, true confidants, true people that, better for worse, you can go to them no matter what. They really understand you. And that's the aspect of kinei. We have a kinyan. That's an acquisition. What's something you have and you can't get rid of. And sometimes you have friends that, and the friend could be somebody you don't have to speak with every day. It could be somebody you speak to only once in a while, but you pick up right where you left off. But it's so important to have this level of companionship. So you have to have an instructor, someone to guide you, but you also have someone to sort of share a pure relationship so you could share your experiences. And finally, dan es kol adam l'kav zchus. You have to judge every single person favorably. Now, you'll say, well, judging, we judge all the time. Let's be honest. We judge all the time. The example that I always give when somebody walks into shul on Rosh Hashanah and wearing a certain outfit and people are looking up and down and saying, I don't know, that's last year's Prada. That's just not going to cut it. So whether we realize it or not, we're judging. Question is, are we judging favorably? I think that having been in isolation, having been sort of alone with ourselves, with our thoughts over these last few weeks, we can appreciate all three of these items. Asay l'charav is that sometimes when we don't know what to do, at least thank God we have somewhere where we can turn. Or we can set an example for others by elevating and by picking up our moral standing. Knei lecha chaver. What has been more valuable during this time than a true friend? A friend that checks on you, a friend that says, listen, I'm going to brave the line, I'm going to go to ShopRite, do you need anything, can I get you something? And when you give them those items, they say, with pleasure, I'll do it, or I'm going to errands, or I'm going here, I'm going there, whatever it might be. Knei lecha chaver is something we could certainly appreciate. And finally, dan es kol adam l'kav zchus. There's a lot of judging that's going on. We all of a sudden have become the arbiters of who's behaving properly, who's not behaving properly, who's standing too close together, who's not standing too close together, who's following the rules, who's not following the rules. Well, at the same time, we also have to be dan l'kav zchus. We have to give people the benefit of the doubt. And we have to hope that people indeed are trying to do the right things. And maybe there's an extenuating circumstance, who knows. But we're very, very quick to judge. And when we're quick to judge, then it says more about us than about the person of whom we're speaking. So we never really know until you're in someone else's shoes, which is another mission that appears further on in Pirkei Avos. But nevertheless, these three items certainly come to light now that we have to make for ourselves an authority. We have to have companionship, we have to have good friends, and we have to judge everyone favorably. So again, I hope everyone has a meaningful Yom Hashoah and a good day, and we will talk again very soon.